Why you do this? Understand yourself. You can sit across from someone you love, hear every word, nod at the right moments, and still feel yourself quietly slipping out of the moment. Your eyes stay, your voice answers, but your inner focus drifts backward, like you are watching your own life from a few steps away. Inside, that shift can feel subtle and violent at the same time, as if some hidden part of you pulls the emergency brake on presence. You care deeply, yet staying fully here feels strangely risky, like one more honest second might expose too much, or ask too much. It often appears in harmless moments. A quiet dinner, a car ride, a slow Sunday conversation, nothing dramatic. Then someone asks how you really are, or looks at you a second longer than usual, and your awareness blurs, like fog rolling in between you and the other person. Afterward, you may feel strangely guilty. You replay the scene and realize you were half present, half gone, answering just enough to pass. You ask why you cannot simply stay, why your mind escapes, why your chest tightens around intimacy, and the question quietly becomes, what is wrong with me? Presence is not just a moral choice, it is a biological state. To stay emotionally present, your nervous system must tolerate waves of feeling, subtle shifts in tone, moments of silence, and the possibility of conflict or need. For some systems, that level of openness has never felt entirely safe. So your inner system came up with a hidden solution. Instead of showing obvious panic, it learned to quietly dim the lights. Attention drifts just enough to soften impact. Your body stays in the room, your thoughts move 2 steps back, far enough to feel less, close enough to still perform. The trigger is often tiny from the outside. A sigh, a pause, a shift in eye contact, or the feeling that now you are supposed to say something real. Your system does not only track the words, it tracks pressure, expectation, and the familiar sense that emotional weight is about to increase. Your body remembers what usually follows. Maybe openness once led to criticism, sudden anger, emotional collapse, or demands you were too young to meet. Maybe nobody exploded, but their mood shifted and you felt responsible. So now, the moment intensity rises, your mind steps away, trying to outrun the impact before it lands. As emotional closeness increases, your nervous system starts making calculations, not about love, but about capacity. Can I stay connected and still feel like myself? Can I hold their feelings and mine at the same time? If the answer tilts toward no, your system acts quickly to reduce the load. This is why you suddenly feel sleepy, distracted, or weirdly blank in intense moments. From the inside it looks like failure. From the body perspective it is strategy. Your system redirects energy away from emotional processing and into safety behaviors, scanning the room, planning responses, rehearsing exits, going mentally offline. Overwhelm is not simply too much emotion, it is too much emotion with too little room to hold it. Some nervous systems are wired to register every subtle signal. They do not glide over tension. They feel it, so when another person leans in emotionally, your inner space can feel instantly smaller, tighter, less breathable. When you have never been shown how to expand that inner space, your system learns a simpler equation. Less presence equals less impact. Less impact equals less danger. Distance becomes emotional math, not coldness. Your body would rather seem disinterested than feel like it is drowning in signals it cannot regulate. From the outside, people sense this shift even when they cannot describe it. They feel you fade a little. Your answers get shorter, your eyes slide away more often, your energy thins out, like part of you left the room. Many interpret that change as rejection, boredom, or emotional unavailability. Some will move closer when they feel that gap. They talk more, share more, ask what is wrong. Others pull away, feeling hurt or confused. Their behavior is not actually about you. It is about the sudden loss of connection they feel, without knowing your nervous system is fighting for balance. Inside, your experience is completely different. You are not playing games, you are trying to stay functional. You notice your focus slipping, your chest tightening, your thoughts scattering, and a quiet panic forms. You wonder why simple closeness feels like pressure, why your body behaves like the moment is more dangerous than it looks. Here's why you react the way you do. Your system remembers that emotional presence used to come with hidden tasks. Maybe you had to manage a parent mood, keep peace in the room, anticipate another person's reaction, or be the strong one. Presence meant responsibility, not simply being seen, but holding everything together so nothing exploded. This history sets up a painful dance. The closer someone moves, the more your system anticipates demand. The more demand it anticipates, the more it quietly pulls you back. You might become lighter, change the subject, make a joke, anything that lowers the emotional temperature without fully leaving. Here's how the pattern forms between both of you. Their nervous system senses distance and reaches for you with more words, more emotion, more intensity. Your nervous system feels that increase and retreats further to cope. Both of you are actually asking for safety, one through closeness, the other through space. Often, this pattern is rooted in chronic relational overload. Maybe you grew up as the peacemaker, the secret keeper, the listener, the one who absorbed tension so others could continue. Your system never got to experience presence as mutual. It learned that being fully there meant carrying more than your share. Or perhaps you received love mixed with unpredictability. People were warm one day, withdrawn the next. Conversations could turn sharp with no warning. Your body adapted by staying slightly removed, close enough to monitor, far enough to brace. That half step back became your default posture, even with people who are safer now. Over time, this protective strategy sinks into your sense of self. You start using words like detached, distant, avoidant, broken. You compare yourself to people who seem relaxed in closeness, and assume they have something you lack. But what they have is not better character, it is a different history of safety. When you believe distance proves you are defective, shame floods the whole pattern. You force yourself to lean in, to stay longer, to share more, while your nervous system screams for air. Eventually it wins and you shut down anyway. Then shame uses that shutdown as proof that your heart is somehow less capable. Relief does not begin with more effort. It begins with a different story. Instead of asking what is wrong with me, you begin to ask what was happening around me when my system learned to leave. That question moves you from self-blame to context, from character judgment to nervous system understanding. When you see distance as protection, not betrayal, something loosens. You do not have to hate the part of you that leaves. You can thank it for keeping you safe when you had fewer options. Gratitude softens the inner war, and when there is less war inside, your system does not need such extreme defenses. Integration is not staying present forever. It is building a flexible bridge between closeness and rest. You practice noticing earlier signs that you are reaching capacity, the slight numbness, the mental fog, the urge to escape. Instead of abandoning the moment completely, you name it gently and adjust the pace. Maybe you ask for a pause, shift to a lighter topic for a moment, or simply take a slower breath while staying in eye contact. These are micro signals of safety to your nervous system. They say we are still here, we are allowed to take space inside this connection, nobody will break if I breathe. Empowerment is not forcing yourself to be endlessly available. It is learning the shape of your own capacity and honoring it. When you trust that you can step back for a moment and then return, closeness stops feeling like a trap, it becomes a place you can visit without losing yourself. You may notice that when you respect your limits, you actually have more presence to give. Instead of white-knuckling through every conversation, you bring a steadier version of yourself. The people who can meet you there feel safer too, because your connection is no longer built on silent self-abandonment. The deepest relief comes when you recognize the innocence in this pattern. There was a time when your nervous system had to choose between being fully present and feeling safe, and safety won. That choice kept you functioning. It protected your mind, your heart, and sometimes your body more than you will ever know. Now, you are allowed to make a different choice. Not by erasing distance, but by bringing compassion into it. Each time you notice yourself drifting, you can say, "This is my system trying to help." That simple recognition turns a split second of shame into a doorway for gentler, more conscious connection. You can care very deeply and still struggle to stay present. You can love people and still feel your mind run for the exits when emotions rise. That does not expose a cold heart, it reveals a sensitive system that never learned another way to keep you safe during closeness. As you start honoring what your nervous system has been doing for you, presence stops being a test you keep failing, and becomes a relationship you are slowly rebuilding with yourself. Step by step, you learn that you can stay a little longer, feel a little more, and still remain fully you. You are not cold. Did that feel familiar? And have you thought about this?